What's up guys, I'm Brandon J from WA Production, and in this video I will show you how I created and installed these panels to make my room sound like this to this. Note that the price and availability of the products that I'm using may vary depending on where you live. But don't worry, because there are plenty of ways to achieve this. You just have to make the most of what you have and what is available. Alright, so let's start with the planning. I created a 3D model of my room with all its fixtures to envision what it would look like with all the panels installed. I wanted the panels to be tall enough so I could place them high enough to level with my door and not cover the electrical sockets on my walls. I also wanted it to be wide enough so I could put at least 2 on every side and have adequate space in between. With all that criteria, I ended up with a 4.5 by 2.5 feet frame. I plan to use Rockwool, and the thickest one available in the market for me is 3 inches. Of all the colors, I chose black because it's easier to maintain and is less likely to look faded in the far future. I bought a marine grade plywood for the frame and had somebody do the cutting for me. I also bought 11 meters of black scuba fabric, 11 meters of black alpha gina fabric, 12 meters of Rockwool, a box of 3/4 screws, a wood adhesive, an anti-termite wood solution, 40 pieces of 1.5 and 40 pieces of 1/2 inch steel angle bracket. For this, I used a staple gun, cordless drill, angle grinder, heavy duty drill, scissors, pencil, bar level, sandpaper, and a homemade leveling hose. I started putting it all together, and the first thing I did was position everything on the floor just like that. Next, I placed some pilot hole markers and used the tiniest drill bit to dig the holes. I then used a Phillips screwdriver drill bit to fasten the steel angle bracket and mount the rest of the parts. I wanted my frame to stay upright, therefore I had to install a brace supporting the frame's integrity, so I dug another set of pilot holes on both sides. I used wood adhesive and longer screws this time to make it more sturdy. The edges look really chaotic, so I fixed them using a sandpaper with 100 grit. I live in a tropical country, so termite infestation is quite common. To prevent that, I applied an anti-termite wood solution. After leaving it to dry for a few hours, I had to tack in the scuba fabric. I started with the edges. The key really is to be patient with it because it can be a pain in the ass in the first few attempts. In fact, this was my 3rd attempt already. I like this fabric very much because it is so flexible that tacking it like this feels like a walk in the park. After I tacked the fabric, it was time to insert the Rockwool. The coarse fiber of the Rockwool is itchy when it gets to the skin and could potentially cause health issues when inhaled, so it is crucial to wear long sleeves, gloves, pants, and face masks. After I plugged the Rockwool in, it was time to seal it with the alpha gina fabric. It was burly and breathable but not as flexible and thick as the scuba fabric. The last thing I did was trim the excess fabric to make it look seamless. At this point, the panel is ready to be mounted. I even made 2 tiny versions of the panel and embedded some art in them. It's pretty straightforward, but it must be done before inserting the Rockwool inside. Otherwise, you won't be able to put any flat surface behind the fabric when you smear the ink. It was time to mount the panels to the wall, so I made my own leveling hose to make sure the markers were aligned correctly. I then put a rope following the markers, which served as a guide to ensure the panels were aligned vertically. I used a cordless drill to make the pilot hole so the heavy duty drill won't slip. I then started drilling, and it did take a lot of effort. Since it is a concrete wall, I used tucks on every hole to fasten the angle brackets tightly. Each panel has 4 half-an-inch angle brackets supporting it. The pair at the bottom do most of the heavy lifting, while the pair at the top prevents the panels from flipping forward. Since that was the case, having 2 holes for the top angle brackets was unnecessary, so I had to cut it off. After fastening the top brackets partially to the wall, I double-checked to see if they were leveled, and boy, I was happy to know they were. Since I had no help, I had to figure out a way to lift the panels so I could attach them to the top bracket. I used my old digital keyboard stand as a jack to help hold the panels while I'm connecting it securely to the brackets. Now that the top is secured, I had to start working with the bottom angle bracket. The process is basically the same. I place drill markers, make pilot holes, drill, insert toxes, fasten the angle bracket to the wall, and the panel to the angle bracket. I spent almost the entire day doing the same procedure for the others that hadn't been installed. Here's how it sounded before and after. I see my future in your eyes. I see my future in your eyes. Although it didn't make this room 100% dead sounding, since the only smooth surface that I have on my floor is my bed and I don't have anything on the ceiling just yet, it did make a significant difference. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to drop them down there and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Again, I'm Brandon J from WE Production, wishing you the best of luck. Happy holidays!